Hello, welcome to Pop Along RC, the RC car channel dedicated to RC car racing, and today we are taking a closer look at this, the Schumacher Atom 3. This could potentially be the most frustrating car I've ever driven. So if you're a regular to the channel, you will know that we have tried many different disciplines of RC car racing over the years, and we're always looking for new projects and new things to sort of trial on the channel. We're looking forward to a project we've got up and coming with some rally cars, which we're going to look to do at a local location. So I'm looking forward to getting back into some sort of Tamiya racing, whether it's the TT01 truck or the TT01 touring car. I definitely need to get back to having some fun on the track. We've got the Cougar project, which is something, again, I'm very much looking forward to, having a bit of close racing with Mark. Problem with that is you can't rush Mark, because he's the slowest builder on the planet. I built my Cougar and I'm still waiting for him. As far as I'm aware, he hasn't even opened the boxes yet. So that is something coming to the channel very soon. But let's come back to this car here. Now, this is a GT12, and as I've said on the channel before, I really enjoyed GT12 in the early days. I got myself a Schumacher Super Stocks, and I had a great fun running that car. And the class evolved quite quickly to where we are today with the Atom 3. I recently took the car up to Blackpool, and I ran it at the Charged RC event up there. Again, the car wasn't performing as I liked. I was having real issue with torque steer. It was pulling quite a lot. It was understeering on the track when compared to other cars I was racing against. Partly, we put that down to the fact I was running the wrong tyres. So I was running control tyres, whereas everyone was running T-foams, which are far grippier on that surface. I opted out of doing the GT12 Nationals in Blackpool because I just didn't want to embarrass myself. That's how bad I was getting on with this car. So I don't like quitting, but I've never claimed to be the best driver in the world. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this car another crack. I'm going to get back down to Milton Keynes and I'm going to run the GT12 and see how I get on. Today I headed off to MK for some club racing. Best thing about club racing is it's a great community. Everyone chips in, everyone helps out. When you arrive in the UK, when you arrive at Hull at the start of the race meet, there is nothing. And you need to get that carpet out, you need to get that track laid, and it's a real team effort to get everybody racing. The more people that help, the sooner you get on with the racing. And it often then allows you to have a little bit of practice time before the race meet begins. Equally, at the end of the meet, it's nice that not everyone rushes off and then people lend a hand rolling up the carpets and getting it back in the cupboards. But today, it was about this car here and what has become one of the most frustrating RC cars in my collection. In order to get this car round the track, I really have to be soft on the throttle and really nurse it round, because any sort of punch and push out of the corners, it just wants to pull really sharp to the left. And I've not been able to get rid of that. Last week, the legend that is Mr. Hampson, I gave him the opportunity to have a go with the car. And I said, oh, go easy on the throttle, otherwise it will pull left. And he took it out and straight away slammed it straight into the wall. I had a chat with a couple of locals down at the club and they said, try giving it to Mr. Bishop, because he runs a wheel, he's a very experienced GT12 driver, and he might be able to help you out. So this week I did give the car to some of the locals to have a look at and see if we can work out whether it's me just being rubbish at driving or I've got a problem with the setup of my GT12. Okay, so round one here this morning, and I have had some real trouble with my GT12. So therefore, I have given it to one of the local legends to try and get it round and see if he can give me any feedback on how the car drives. So the problems that I've been having, as soon as you get on the throttle, the car wants to pull really hard to the left, and as you can see up the end here, he's having exactly that. As he comes onto the straight, the car just wants to pull into the wall, and he's hit the wall again there. Don't know what he's done now. So at least this shows that there is some truth in what I'm saying. Let's see how he gets on this time. Straight into the wall. Just nursing it round now. Really seems a little bit lazy in this turn. He's going a little bit wide. Definitely driving it better than I do. Again, hitting that wall. It's making that apex quite nicely. Smooth through here. Nice tight lines. It was kind of nice to know that I wasn't imagining it, because I was starting to get a bit down when it comes to racing the GT12, thinking I'm just rubbish. But I am not the best driver in the world, but it wasn't all me. They were having the same issues with this car as I was experiencing. So, massive thank you to Mr. Gale, a very experienced driver, LMP and GT12. Took the car away, took it back to the pits, and had a look at what he thought the problem might be. So the feedback I got was there was too much tension in the side springs, so he loosened those off. There was also tweak on the chassis, which he then adjusted to get rid of the tweak. Then he made some suggestions with my radio gear. We reset the trim and the sub-trim. We made sure that the steering left and right was completely even. We then dialed back the dual rates. And the last thing we then changed on the radio was the exponential. We put a little bit more in there to make it less sensitive in a straight line. So the car was much better in this round as it was going around the track. However, it was bobbing down the straight. Therefore, when I brought it in after that round, we looked at the damping and we added some more oil because they'd dried out a little bit. And it did make the car a lot more easy to control, and it went a lot better throughout the rest of the day. So here's the thing. RC is a hobby I absolutely love, and I have great fun running the Tamiya cars when I'm messing around with Mark, when we go to places like Mill End, and just have a laugh with our cars, enjoying it. Racing can be very fun, however it can also be quite stressful, and what I find most challenging with cars like the GT12 is my lack of experience and knowledge of this platform. It means when a problem arises, like this torque steer, which I put it down to, I'm unable to diagnose the problem. If you give me a TT01 and I'm running that around the track and it starts understeering, I know what I can do to fix it. It's quite, in my head, it's quite simple because I've got many hours of racing TT01s, a lot of experience running those cars on the track, and I can make some quick changes and I can get the car behaving how I want it to do. The GT12 is quite abstract in the way the car's laid out and the way you need to make changes to the cars. Therefore, it doesn't come naturally to me, and that's why this class of racing, when they go well, they are amazing cars to drive, but when they're not working right, they can be the most frustrating cars on the planet. The other variable you've got, because you're running foam tyres, the foam wears as you go through the session. So it might be running absolutely brilliantly at the start of the session. By the end, your tyres have dropped a couple of mil, the ride height's out, everything's kind of changed, and you're playing catch up again. So it is a great class if you want to hone your skills as a racer, because when these things are flying around well, they carry so much speed through the turns. They're fantastic looking cars when they're going round well. It's just when problems arise, they're a bit of a handful. But do you know what? I love my racing. I love all forms of racing. I'm not going to give up on this car. Not yet, anyway. I'm going to hopefully see out the winter season that we're doing at the moment. And after that, I will then consider whether I continue working on the Atom 3 or I move over to another class. Obviously, Schumacher has got the Schumacher MTC. The Neon has just been released, so potentially I could get one of those, start working on that now in the winter so that it's ready for the MTC Nationals next summer. That is an option. What do you think I should do? Where shall we go next? What do we need to try? What classes of RC do we need to bring to Pop Along RC? Bit of a waffly one today. I'm sorry if it's bored you. But do you know what? Sometimes days are quite frustrating. They don't go to plan. But all in all, I've learnt a little bit today. I've had fun. And it was great to spend time with the boy at the track.